Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome into the podcast today. We are so pleased and so grateful that you have joined us today. Shout out to my Instagram family. Instagram, I want you to get ready to come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com because I'm going to need to use this device here in just a moment. So Instagram, prepare to come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. So Black family, we're getting ready to talk about Jemele Hill today. Unfortunately. Jemele Hill. Jemele, Aunt Jemima, Jemele Hill. We got to talk about her. We got to talk about her. We got to discuss Jemele Hill. How many of you all know who I'm talking about? The sister who was well known in the sports, with the ESPN and stuff. We're getting ready to talk about a recent attack that she just made on a Black man and on Black folk in general. This is another attack. This is another anti-Black man attack. We're gonna talk about it here in just a minute. Come on in, family. But just a little bit of housekeeping before we get ready to talk about this subject today. As you come in, make sure that you come in giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. Would you be sure to make sure that you like and share and subscribe? By the way, if you're watching us on one of the other platforms where our show is broadcast or played, please make sure that you like. Please make sure that you follow and share. Are y'all hearing me today? We got to talk about this. You want to make sure to do this, baby. The League of Mammies strikes again. The League of Mammies strikes again. So I want you all to make sure that you share and that you like, beloved. Also, we want you to know to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Again, text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications. And we do have a business at FlyNubianBusiness.com and FlyNubianMoney.com. FlyNubian Business is where you can go to learn how to start your business or side hustle from Black people for a rock bottom price. FlyNubianMoney.com is where you can go to learn how to invest. So make sure that you check those links out. Okay, family, without further ado, let's get ready to get into this thing. Dear family, we understand and know that there are early signs. There's a predisposition of a mammy at a young age that white supremacists sense. They're able to detect the help spirit in you. They're able to detect the Aunt Jemima and all of that in you. They know how to pick up that in you. And they know that there are some early signs where their radars start to go off and they say, oh, that's the one okra. That's the one kale. That's the one whoopee. Shout out to you, Silent D Production. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. And so some of you get real excited because you think you are so special, or you think that you have a particular talent or something that makes you stand out amongst Black people in terms of why you're chosen. The thing that stands you out is the stench of mammy. It's the stench of mammy. It's the stench of mammy. And they pick that up. And they skip over other truly, likely more qualified Black folk for a certain high-level position. They say, not you, not you, not you, not you, but you. Shout out to you for your gift, James. Thank you for your presence, Queen Vicki. My privilege, beloved. And so, in dealing with Jemele Hill today, I'm going to briefly show you why this is a problem. Again, you all know that before I call someone that's considered to be black, someone that is black looking, somebody say black looking, these tragic, that's right, and incurable mammy, these league of mammies that I've been talking about for a long time now. Shout out to you, Antoinette. Thank you for what you do for our community. It's my privilege. She said that shirt is cute. Thank you, beloved. And so, I don't just do that. I don't just name call like that. I'm sitting there cheering for these folk that look like that they're family, they're black family, until I realize they're not. And I want some of you all to understand something. I want you to really get this, because this is important, what I'm getting ready to say. Because you are a female black woman, you in this day, somebody talk black to me, you in this time will not be able to use that as a shield from getting this work. You will not get to say why you're attacking another black woman, because when you're dealing with an enemy, the last thing you factor in is agenda. The last thing that is of consideration is one's gender and even one's color. Your actions determine who you are to us. And when you behave as an enemy, you get dealt with, not like a black woman. You get dealt with like an enemy. Oh, we're holding court today. Somebody talk black to me. Shout out to you, Tawanda. So don't come in here with this. I am a black woman. You don't get to run that game on me, baby. We understand that we're at war. Somebody say we're at war. Our open enemy is desperate for the most refined and the most effective weapons they can find. And too often, some of the most effective weapons they find is the black woman. And they know that they'll have an extraordinary leeway to manifest their anti-black racism. But because we're confused, we're distracted with the black female face, we'll be like, well, oh, it's a sister, it's a sister, instead of dealing with the spirit. And let me tell you something, what have I always said? Our target is always white supremacy. But if one of you butter biscuits, if one of you bones and biscuits, somebody please put me some bones in the chat. If one of you bones and biscuits decide to jump in the way of the target, you're going to get this word. You're not the intention, but your sick love for your open enemy. Your sick love. I'm still taking applications for this coon rehab. I'm still needing some of the rest of you all to begin to sponsor some of these coons. I'm not sure why they hiding why Facebook is hiding the comments for the bones. Somebody said bones and biscuits. It's about bones and biscuits. So let's get ready to get into what Jemele Hill recently said and did. Instagram, come on over to flynubianqueentv.com so that you can get the details. Thank you so much. flynubianqueentv.com. By the way, Black family, you can follow me on Instagram after the show, of course. You can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard, would you? So, Jemele Hill is a writer now. Remember, she had some madness going with one of these talk shows that she was a part of, one of these sports talk shows and stuff that she was a part of. And white folks dissed her, right? And she ended up parting ways with her former employer. And so now, she's writing for the Atlantic news publication. So let's talk about what she did recently. Watch this. I'm getting ready. I'm posting this on my Instagram page. And I want you to give me just a second here. All right. Thank you so very much. Now, I'm fixing to pull this up. What she just said, what she just wrote recently. Are y'all ready to listen to this madness? So, in her recent piece, that was an accident. In her recent piece, okay, here we go, that she wrote in the Atlantic, she calls herself correcting Deshaun Jackson, and she takes a jab at Minister Farrakhan and us. Shout out to you, Kevin. This is the cover piece that she just wrote in the Atlantic. Can you see it? Do you all see this title? I said early on yesterday on Twitter that I was likely going to be dealing with this with her and for you guys to stay tuned. So I decided to go ahead and do that today. So I want you to listen to this. And this piece that she just wrote is titled "The Anti-Semitism We Didn't See." I'm going to try not to scream the whole show. Do y'all see that title? Jemele Hill. Jemele Hill, Jemima Hill, Jemima. She writes a piece in the Atlantic titled "The Anti-Semitism We Didn't See." She begins by saying, Deshaun Jackson's Hitler moment. How many of you are familiar with the football player that came under some scrutiny recently, fire recently, because people inappropriately tried to check our brother Deshaun? I won't go there right now, but keep listening. Keep listening. The anti-Semitism we didn't see. Deshaun Jackson's Hitler moment and mine show that Black Americans' experience of racism doesn't automatically sensitize us toward other forms of prejudice. What? Biscuit. Did you all hear that? Let me read it again. She says Deshaun Jackson's Hitler moment and mine show that Black Americans' experience of racism doesn't automatically sensitize us toward other forms of prejudice. In other words, she's telling us, I need y'all to put this in the chat now. We're going to do a lot of hashtags today. It's important that we do these hashtags because I'm giving you talking points also. The hashtags are going to encapsulate some of these important talking points. Would you please put in the chat hashtag 465? I'm drinking out of my beautiful mug, my queen mug that you can get at our store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Somebody please put in the chat hashtag 465. Somebody please put in the chat hashtag 465. We understand that the 465, the hashtag 465 stands for what, Black family? It stands for how long we've been in an oppressive state here in these United States of America. Before America was officially formed, we were on this side of the water. Not 1619, but from 1515. There is a 64-year difference between 1555 and 1619. As we are taught, haven't you heard the phrase, that's a $64,000 question? That 64-year difference was the time your open enemy made us thoroughly into a whole different type of entity. We were turned from civilizers into niggas. During that 64 year, they broke us during that time in order to make us into a nigga so that they could use us to build this new world. I need somebody black to talk black to me. So they intentionally make you believe that the 1619 is when things really got popped off. That's why it's called the hidden years. That the hidden years, those 64-year hidden years. Somebody talk black to me. But that 465 Jemele Hill, ain't Jemima, that 64-year baby difference plus the other 400, that has to do with how long the Black Holocaust has been going on. Somebody say the Black Holocaust. We recognize indeed that other people groups have gone through some form of oppression, but none of them, zero, compares to the savage and barbaric and diabolical treatment that we received for as long as we've been going through it. I said none. So to posture and to frame your words as if there is some group of people that exceeds or deserves the type of understanding as ours is a fallacy. Let me help you understand something today. I said there is no group that has experienced some of the worst treatment any human being has ever experienced for as long as we have experienced it. Now, my show has nothing to do with attacking the Jews, but let's be clear. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and every other form of spirituality or religion or spiritual practice has its beginnings with us. The Jewish religion is still one that has a very key group, Black Jews, that still exist within that group. But we understand that the Jewish religion is an offshoot of the Hebrew religion. But there is no spiritual practice that exists that is not first and foremost ours. So this is not about attacking. So when we say Jewish, Black family, I want you to always say they're Black Jews. And it all began with us. Now, with that said, like everything else that Black folks invent and touch, who tends to also participate in it or co-opt it and are oftentimes corrupt it? Whether it's our music, whether it's our food, whether it's our family. Somebody talk Black to me. So I want us to be clear with these labels. We are not disrespecting anybody. How can we disrespect that religion when it is ours too? So don't try that small town stuff over here. Within every area, calm down, Vicki, of people activity. Wall Street, arts and entertainment, media, education, the military, religion. It doesn't matter. The domestic front, meaning your homes, business, in every single area of society, including that religion, you find white supremacy. And we are not going to allow you to use the label of a religion to hide white supremacy. So white supremacy can stay in the back, tucked real safe and comfortable, relaxing. Baby, we're going to call you out, and we're not going to let you use a religious title. We're calling you the white supremacist that you are. Now that we've laid that foundation, thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing, would you? Wherever you're watching us on, make sure that at the bottom of the screen that you hit the share button, copy the share button, and make sure that you share it out to some of your other brothers and sisters and family on your platforms. Thank you so much. Thank you. So she goes on, this black-looking Jemele Hill. Let me show you what I posted in case you may not realize who she is. She's a beautiful sister. Beautiful looking, but just pitiful and sad. Here she is. Here she is. Do you all see the bones on the screen? Do you all see the bones on the screen? It's just all the bones, just the bones. I'm pretty much going to have to stop with the bones and just get a whole big old bag of kibbles and bits for the day over. For the day over, baby, it's going to be, I'm done with the bones. We're going to have to retire the bones, and I'm just going to have to start, awarding whole bags of dog food today. Whole bags of dog food is getting ready to be the new award today. Why, Vicki? Why are you saying using that as a? Because we understand the meritorious manumission. Let me get into that in a minute. Let me not get ahead of myself. Watch this. Let me finish reading this part. So she says, Black Americans' experience of racism doesn't automatically sensitize us toward other forms of prejudice. That's so disgusting. That's such a lie. That's such a lie. She says, like Deshaun Jackson, the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver who is being condemned for posting a fake Adolf Hitler quote on his Instagram feed last week, I too have had an ill-advised Hitler moment. She talks about something that she did back in the day. Don't nobody even want to hear that madness. Watch this. She talked about how what she did, ESPN suspended her for a week, and she said she deserved that punishment. Okay. She says, like Jackson, I am Black. And had anyone made a remark trivializing slavery, I would have been incensed. I learned that just because I'm aware of the destruction caused by racism, that doesn't mean I'm automatically sensitive to other forms of racism, or in this case, anti-Semitism. Black people, too, are capable of being culturally arrogant. She said that. How dare you? How dare you, Jemele Hill? Shout out to you for your gift. I'm going to read that again because I don't think that you all heard that right. She says that she's Black. I've learned that just because I'm aware of the destruction caused by racism. I'm going to read that again. She says, I'm aware that just because I'm aware of the destruction caused by racism. She said, just because she's aware of the destruction caused by racism, are you really aware? Jemele Hill, of the destruction of racism? Jemele Hill, the destruction of racism? The complete and total undoing of our people? the kidnapping, the raping, the murdering, the burning, the traumatizing of our people. Watch this, Jemele. Jemele, you do know we still don't have reparations. You still do know that we built this whole country and they still refuse to give us reparations. Jemele Hill, you know that not only have we built this country, that they still refuse to cease and desist our oppression. You are aware of that, aren't you, Jemele Hill? But Jemele Hill says, put that little 465 years worth of destruction to the side. I'm aware of it. That's the equivalent of her just shrugging her shoulders. I'm aware of all of that tragedy. Unlike anything any people have experienced for as long as we've experienced it. She trivializes it. She shrugs her shoulders at it. And then she moves on to the next part of this article and says, that doesn't mean I'm automatically sensitive to other forms of racism, or in this case, anti-Semitism. Black people, too, are capable of being culturally arrogant. Who do you think you are talking to? Those words, Jemele Hill, is sacrilegious. You have committed blasphemy by saying those words. Are you hearing me today? By her saying that Black people too are capable of being culturally arrogant. She's saying we can be culturally arrogant. Black family, I need somebody to put in the chat for me now. We're uncheckable. Somebody please put in the chat that we are uncheckable. What makes us uncheckable? Our Black blood is what makes us uncheckable. The building of America, and by extension, the world, makes us uncheckable. You don't get to tell us nothing. There is no circumstance where you get to cape for our open enemy and correct us in the same breath. Sit, bone, sit, bone, sit. Where is my kibbles and bits? I don't have it, but this bone is going to have to do. And it's not just any kind of bone. What does it say right here? Read that, family. Can y'all see that? What does it say right here on this bone? What kind of bone is this? What kind of bone is this? It says all natural dog treats. It's an all natural dog treat. All natural. We're not just giving out biscuits here. We're giving out bones. Why do I say bones? Bones let you know that we're not dealing with a human being. Because I'm trying to let some of you all, you Black bootlegs, some of you all that likes to cape for your white zaddies. See, some of your white zaddies you're caping for are not just men that you marry or that you're in some kind of a romantic relationship with. Some of your zaddies are your corporations and your companies that you work for and those that you're trying to please to ensure that you keep getting gigs on television. You spit out the biscuits. Crumbs all over your mouth. Butter stains all in your top. You give up the biscuit for the bone. When you try to cape for and suck up to racist white people, And then at the same time, you turn around and attack black folk. You lord yourself to an animal. And we know that when you offer a dog a bone, when you offer a dog a treat, that means that you're trying to incentivize a certain type of behavior in that dog. So if the dog sits, you give him a bone. Baby, you're not even finna get biscuits. Biscuits still speak to like people and humans and stuff. You past that now. You've lured yourself. Your behavior, that is. It's more like an animal when you decide to cape for white supremacists and then turn around and attack black folk at the same. Come on, somebody talk black to me. Sit. Keep hitting that thumbs up button, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing, would you? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. On the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I encourage you. Like I mean, this is advice I always give to coons and sambos and bed wenches. Wipe your mouth. Wipe your mouth. Wipe your mouth. Right there. Right there. Wipe your mouth. Keep listening. She says, which brings me to Jackson. She's talking about the fact on Instagram, the 33-year-old went much further into ugly territory than my flippant comment about Hitler. He posted a screenshot of a passage falsely attributed to Hitler. I'm skipping down through here. The last part of that paragraph says, the passage, which has been attributed to various writers, went on to say that Negroes are the real children of Israel. Jemele Hill. Black people are the children of Israel. That bothers you a lot, apparently. That gets under your skin. But notwithstanding, let me go on because I'm going to get to this other part. Perhaps Jackson thought some part of this would be inspirational for the Black community. But she says the passage was anti-Semitic regardless of its author. Do y'all hear this disgusting bone? She said again, it doesn't matter who the author was. She said that was anti-Semitic. And she said perhaps Jackson thought some part of this would be inspirational for the Black community. But the passage was anti-Semitic regardless of its author. And why would Jackson think it was remotely constructed to insert Hitler of all the people into a conversation about racial empowerment? After all, she says, Hitler hated Black people too. In another post, watch what she says. The biscuit just don't stop. See, you bones and biscuits, I have to give you this word because you just won't stop. You are incurable, mammy. You're incurable, mammy. She says in another post, Jackson shares quotes. Watch this. She insults Black people, right? By saying that we can be culturally arrogant. Who would say that? Culturally arrogant. So she insults us. And she just itching. You know how I tell you guys that some of you all are coon addicts and you need to go to coon rehab? And you know when you're having them withdrawals, you start itching and stuff. You start sweating and stuff. You're having all these withdrawals. See, she had such a strong coon withdrawal. It wasn't enough that she said that we can be culturally arrogant. It wasn't enough for her to specifically attack also Deshaun, but then she goes and does something else. She said in another post, he shared quotes from a speech made by the Nation of Islam leader, Louis Farrakhan, during the 4th of July weekend, the one where I happened to be personally present and received an invitation from his office to attend. And I was blessed. And they allowed me to bring my mother, who's also my caretaker, with me. Somebody talk Black to me. That event, Jemele Hill that I was pleased to be at and bragging about being there, baby. Honored to be there. It's a badge of honor. Badge of honor. It's a badge of honor. That weekend that she's talking about, listen to what she says. She says the speech mostly centered on police brutality, the coronavirus, Black empowerment, and self-reliance. But with Farrakhan's long, vile record of anti-Semitism, Jackson, who is far from alone among Black Americans in his support for Farrakhan, can't be surprised that people now question his true feeling towards Jews. You. You can't. Y'all gotta watch these bones and biscuits. You gotta watch them that's working for these white companies and corporations, white publications, on white networks and stuff. So she insults you. She insults him. Calls him vile. Long, vile history of anti-Semitism. But the problem is she's lying, just like they are. I said the problem, Jemele Hill, is you're lying just like his detractors are. How many of you all know, Black family, what John chapter 8 says? We talk about it all the time. See, you're not going to hide behind any label today. We're talking about the white supremacist elements in religion. I know you want to. See, what you're not going to do is trick Vicki. What you want us to do is to pretend like some of these other labels are more important, or cover up and shield the white supremacist elements of that religion. Baby, we see you. And that's the reason why you guys want to act like that when you're talking about Judaism and stuff, as if that's just yours. It ain't. Everything is ours, God, today, number one. And we're pleased to share it with some of you. And when you misuse that thing that we allowed you to use that belongs to us, we call you out. And some of you are wondering, who do Black people like Farrakhan thinks he is to check Jewish people around the world? He doesn't just check Jewish people around the world. Slowness. He checks any and everybody that would operate with injustice. But you're not exempt. God, today. Do you see this gavel on the Vicki show? Do you see this gavel? Do you see this gavel? It's a sign of authority. It's a sign of a judge. And it is most appropriate that we, as the original men and women on the planet, we are the Supreme Court in the earth. Did you hear what I said? What we say goes. And when we are pointing out something, Jemele Hill, and we're checking somebody, we are they that understand oppression better than anybody. We are they that understands difficulty better than anybody. What we say goes. And we remain, and forever will remain, uncheckable, especially to those who behave as our open enemies. Who do you think you are? I said what we say goes. And so when Minister Farrakhan checks y'all and you get mad about it, and you have the nerve, some of them even had the nerve to tell Minister Farrakhan, you don't criticize us. You don't correct us. We correct you. What, fool? See, you're showing you the newest people on the planet. You're showing your newness to our planet. See, we allowed you to rule on purpose for a season, but you sense and you know that your civilization your time is about up. That's the ruling of the divine court, is your time is about up. Somebody talk black to me. You have nothing to correct us on. We are forever and will always be uncheckable. Did we give you permission to speak, Jemima? You feel like doing this, Jamil. You feel comfortable attacking black folks because there has not been a widespread consequences for you disrespecting us. When I'm talking about consequences, I'm not talking about inflicting physical harm on you. I'm talking about the fact that your career thrives because of black men and women. See, you came up talking about sports, and it seems like you need to go back to talking about games and Gatorade, because that's where you thrived in. This seems to be above your pay grade to talk on this level. This is a bit too much for you. This above your pay grade, Jemele Hill. It's too much for you, baby girl. Your level is about Gatorade and basketball and stuff, and courts and stuff. Your career is off black folk. Guess who else's career is off black folks in sports? Everybody else, like your agents, like those managers, like those owners, like your coaches. Y'all help me figure out the rest of these people. The people that's selling hot dogs and beers and stuff. The grocery stores that's getting money for selling hot wings and stuff. Who else, y'all? The referees and stuff, the umpires, they only have careers because of the excellence and black prowess, black athleticism, agents and stuff, the concession stands people, the games and Gatorade. You need to go back to the games and Gatorade. That's your career choice. Go back to that. This is above your pay grade. You're a disaster up here. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Over 1,800 plus of you in the chat. We're so pleased that you've tuned into the Vicki Show. I'm typically here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Thank those of you that are watching us here. Our show is often shown also on other platforms, different time zones. If you're watching us elsewhere, please like, share, subscribe, follow. Thank you so very much, family. Don't forget that we want you to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. And what gets me about these different kinds of biscuits is, see, now this biscuit and this bone, these bones and biscuits, y'all are trying to, you now a chicken and biscuit combo too. But the chicken and biscuit combo that you are, you like that white meat chicken. You like that white meat chicken. And I'm getting real disgusted with some of you. It's a pageant of coons, coonettes, sambos, bed wenches. I'm not going to back off on using that term when it's appropriate. When you decide to whore yourself out, be a political and a social whore for white folks to tickle them pink. Y'all, you know what else I'm going to tell you what she did? Let me go back to this piece in a minute. Guess what else she did? After she put out that piece reprimanding black folk, she's sitting here defending white folk, but offending black people. Did y'all hear what I said today? Somebody talk black to me. Jemele Hill spends her time in that piece offending she spends her time in that piece defending white people and offending black people. She got some nerve, don't she? And the question is, when I get to thinking about some of these people that we know like Jemele Hill. Like, why do we know her? How does she even exist? Where did she come from? She's controlled opposition. You hear Jemele Hill out there sometime talking about Colin Kaepernick. You hear out there talking about some other little miscellaneous black issues, baby. But they know she ain't finna be no real revolutionary. They know that she's not going. They know she's a safe negress. They know they can count on her. But when they're dealing with a real threat and a real influencer concerning black people and the world over, they know they can count on her to cape for white supremacy. Where did she come from? Jemele Hill was installed there as a goad to black people. She was allowed to ascend to that position in the same way that okra and kale were permitted to ascend in white supremacy's world. And it comes with all kinds of perks. Somebody talk black to me. You think that you're a strong black woman, powerful black woman. But the white supremacists see a weakness in you, which is why they chose you. They knew that you would help parrot the lie that Minister Farrakhan is anti-Semitic, even though it's not true. They know that working for the Atlantic, you're supposed to vet your work well. But I can assure you, you didn't do one thing to vet whether or not that lie that they've been telling on Minister Farrakhan is true or not. And may I tell you, why do they lie on folk like Minister Farrakhan? Why do they keep lying? Do you all know that they said that Martin Luther King was anti-Semitic? Lord have mercy. Now they got Martin Luther King on stamps. They hated Malcolm X. But don't they have Malcolm X on the stamp? How many? You can't go to one major city in this country where there's now not a major street, libraries and schools named after Martin Luther King. These are people they hated, and they call Marcus Garvey, they call Martin Luther King, they call Malcolm X, they call the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they call all of them anti-Semitic. Am I lying, black family? Jemele Hill. Ain't Jemele Hill. Ain't Jemele Hill. Just like they hated these very men that I just mentioned, Dr. King, Malcolm X, now they're trying to pretend like they're heroes. They're trying to sanitize their legacy. You know why? Somebody talk back to me. Let me skip to this next part. I'm not even going to say that. Now Jemele Hill, ain't Jemele Hill, is attacking Minister Farrakhan. And are you waiting for him? So when he dies now, everybody going to try to say he was an amazing, wonderful, glorious man. Y'all going to try to name a post office and a school and a library after him too? You're going to put a stamp, Farrakhan stamp? Now that you know it's safe, the revolution is safe. It's not going to attack you. It's not going to expose you. It's not going to destroy white supremacy. It's not going to expose white supremacy. Jemele Hill, where are you going to be when the books are written? Baby, when the books are written about Aunt Jemele Hill, it's going to show she was on the wrong side of history, and it's going to show that she was a political bed wench. It's going to show that she used strong language by calling Minister Farrakhan vile, but she didn't have the courage to even say that about some of her white anti-black folk. Somebody put hashtag anti-black racism. Somebody put in the chat anti-black racism. Somebody put in the chat anti-black racism. Somebody put in the chat anti-black racism. Why do I want you to put that in there? Because Aunt Jemele Hill said, with her ignorant self, watch this. She said in the first part of her piece, like Deshaun Jackson, no, she says in the first part of the piece here, Deshaun Jackson's Hitler moment and mine showed that Black Americans' experience of racism doesn't automatically sensitize us towards other forms of prejudice. What you talking about, girl? What are you talking about? That's the reason why they want us to be accepting, family, of all these other intersectional groups. The reason why they want all of these other groups to merge with the Black group is so that they can dilute ours. It's also to give the impression that somehow everybody is equally oppressed. And that even the most oppressed people on the planet are capable of oppressing others. Somebody say the devil is still a liar. Black folks don't own any. We don't own enough courthouses. We don't run enough courthouses. We don't own enough prisons. We don't own enough banks and enough businesses and enough land and enough property to oppress and discriminate anybody. Disliking or disagreeing another group is not racism, slowness. Unlike white people, we don't have the power to control or alter one's life like that. Besides, everything white folk got is stolen from us anyway. All the money that Congress is in there talking about, all the money that Congress is redistributing and stuff like that and discussing, all of that's ours anyway. Slowness. That's another lie. Everybody, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Everybody, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget that I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Everybody hit that subscribe button. And again, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicki. That's when I was giving her the word last night when I made it clear that I'm going to be talking about this. I told her that yesterday. I was likely going to be discussing this soon. Watch this. But I can't get over this part. I know I read it before, but listen to this. Black people, too, are capable of being culturally arrogant. This is a biscuit that said this. This is a Bones and Biscuits. This is white meat chicken. White meat fried chicken that's saying this. Again, having coon shakes in desperate need of getting into a coon rehab, which I've asked some of you all to sponsor them into the Vicki Coon Rehab. It's coming soon. I'm taking applications. We're trying to get it set up for y'all soon. Her having coon withdrawals, she couldn't stop with just insulting us. She specifically names Minister Farrakhan and says his long, vile record of anti-Semitism. That's a lie. Watch this. The reason why they keep talking and lying about him being anti-Semitic is because they don't want you to focus on the substance of what he says. And they know that most of us are not going to do the research. They know that you're going to go back to living your life without even considering the lies that they told. How many of you all know that I've constantly talked about the fact of the thorough liar that the devil is, meaning an opposer, right? Watch what she said here. Shout out to you, Otis, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold, beloved. Listen to this. She starts talking about her family, claiming that her family saying stuff, growing up, stereotypical thing, were hurtful tropes and stuff. Girl, sit down with all that. Sit down. She says Jackson is far from the only prominent Black athlete or entertainer to have amplified anti-Semitic tropes in recent years. In 2017, the Anti-Defamation League, which monitors acts of hatred, expressed concerns over a song in which the hip-hop artist Jay-Z rapped, "Jewish people own all the property in America." In 2018, the Atlanta rapper 21 Savage's song, ASMR, created a firestorm. He rapped, "We have, quote, we've been getting the Jewish money. Everything is kosher." The basketball star LeBron James shared that lyric in an Instagram post, which added to the controversy. Later, James offered only a tepid mea culpa. "I actually thought it was a compliment," he said. In the past few days, Jackson's offensive social media postings haven't received the universal disapproval that they merit. Do you hear what this disgusting woman says? She says that Jackson's offensive social media postings haven't received the universal disapproval they merit. In other words, she said he ain't getting enough work. This is a black-face wench, bad wench, that's sitting here saying that this black man is not getting enough criticism around the world. What do you want, sis? You want his career destroyed? You want to make sure he doesn't get any sponsorships? Y'all, that bad wench spirit in her is strong. No, it's not strong. Excuse me. It's strong. SKRONG. That bad wench spirit in her is strong. That's from the Victionary. 2,000 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicki Show. We're so pleased with you today. Black family, make sure that you check out the Black Bits, our school at flynubianbusiness.com, where you can learn how to build your black side business, hustle, or your black business. Or also check out our store, shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com, black family. So very important. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard, and also subscribe to my personal YouTube channel at vickydillard.tv. That's vickydillard.tv. Listen to this thing. She says they haven't received the universal disapproval that they merit. This thing is saying that this black man hasn't been attacked enough. Who did Jemele Hill talk to before she wrote this piece? Who did Jemele Hill hear from? Who urged her to write this piece? Was Jemele given a job? Because since back in the day, Jemele Hill said that she too made an inappropriate Hitler reference. So did they give her the job knowing that they would be able to use that against her later? I'm just trying to make sense of this. Jemele Hill needs to receive strong condemnation from us. Jemele Hill deserved this work and so much. The only thing, Jemele, that's wrong in this situation when she just says here that Jackson's offensive social media postings haven't received the universal disapproval that they merit. No, baby. Who hasn't received the universal disapproval that they merit is you, baby. The only people that hasn't gotten enough criticism and punishment, I'm talking about career rise, I'm not talking about putting hands on her, is you. We shouldn't even know your name. I shouldn't even be pulling up an Atlantic piece with your name in it, because you are there to do damage to black people. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Watch this. Listen to what else she said. Listen, well, she ain't done yet. I'm gonna read the last part of this, and then I'm going to shift. On the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. We're getting ready to give you a new nickname, Jemele Hill, before this is over. Ain't Jemima Hill. Our new nickname for you is going to be Yesterday. Jemele Hill's new name is Yesterday, because that's when you had a career. Somebody talk black to me. We're going to start calling you Yesterday. Because that's when you used to matter and be relevant in the public sector. We're going to start calling you Saturday. Somebody talk black to me. Your new name is yesterday. Your new name is the other day. That's you. Yesterday. Watch this. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Watch this. Watch this. She ends this piece. Thank God it's about to end. Because this is a type of torture. You all know back in the day that when slave masters, one of the ways they inflicted the whip on us, they used another slave to do it. You all do know that in a lot of cases, that's what took place. They didn't always whip us themselves. They used another black person to do it. Let me end this. At the end of this, she says, the good news for Jackson is that some are willing to characterize this incident as ignorance rather than hatred. She says some would characterize this incident as ignorance rather than hatred. Regardless, Jackson is going to have to work to regain the trust of the Jewish community and everyone else who understands that Hitler was evil. Just because he says he's sorry doesn't mean we have to believe him. That's how she ended it. She said, just because he said he was sorry. She says, just because he says he's sorry doesn't mean we have to believe him. She hates black men. Jemele Hill hates black men. She calls one of the most notorious and global black men, who's more than a man to me, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who has done nothing but love and serve black people and call out our open enemy here in America, especially, and around the world. She called him vile. How many white supremacists does she refer to as vile? Where it's appropriate to use it, but someone that loves black people, she calls them vile because her zaddy calls them that. How many times, you all know that when slave masters were looking to purchase black bodies, they would often go to the auction blocks to purchase us sometimes. And in going to the auction blocks, they forced us to participate in this demonic pageant. They forced our teeth to be showed, our body parts to be shown. Since they were selling our bodies to others, they forced us to parade for them. But the Jemele Hills of the world is not forced. White people are not having to force her up on the auction block. She, like so many others like her now, she thinks she's a model. So what she's doing, baby, what Jemele, ain't your mama Hill doing? She's not being forced up on the auction block. She's not, her body body parts aren't being forced to be shown to a prospective master. No, baby, she's strutting for him. You bones and biscuits, ain't nobody forcing you up on the auction block, baby. You think you a model. So you're now strutting. That's what she's doing, y'all, when she double downs on her anti-blackness. Nobody forcing her up on the auction block, baby. She a model. She's strutting. She's showing her wares. She's showing her moves. Ain't nobody forcing her up there, baby. She said, I'm getting up. I'll gladly show you what I'm made of, daddy, zaddy. And the most destructive and the most dangerous and the truly most vile brand of Negro is the one that's willing to offend you. She's willing to take the hits from us because she knew she was going to get backlash from this. She's willing to offend black people so that she can defend white people. That's the worst kind of Negro. And the only reason why she feels comfortable doing that to Black people, because there has not been any consequences for disrespecting Black folk. Her career continues to thrive because of us, while she disrespects us. I want to let you know, Aunt Jemele Hill, that just like when they throw back, a fisherman throws back an unwanted fish, baby, we don't have to have you to go to the promised land. We will throw your stanky self back in the water. And when it's time for the judgment and that finishing of the wheat and the tares, that separation of the wheat and the tares, Jemele, you better stay your funny looking self on that other side. Thumbs up, family. 2,000 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicki Show. We're so pleased that you're with us today. Of course, my name is Vicki Dillard, and it's my privilege to be one of the queens here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. As you come in, please come in giving us the thumbs up, liking, and sharing. There are many relevant links that our beautiful moderators are putting in the chat that you want to be aware of. I'm starting Club Vicki. I was supposed to officially start the question and answers again, which I've already done the Club Vicki my mastermind class, but I'm going to be officially, I think, starting it up for the question and answer again. In just a few days. Those of you that have been signed up, we thank you for your patience. Stay tuned for a special announcement for you. But for those who haven't heard about Club Vicki, I'm getting ready to start up a personal access of me to answer questions. And I'm going to be dropping some metaphysical jewels live for you next Wednesday, God willing. Go to clubvicki.com, clubvicki.com for details, clubvicki.com. Watch this. But I'm thinking about the fact that Jemele Hill, Aunt Jemele Hill, when you do stuff like that, you're supposed to vet your sources, right? But she keeps going on about how Minister Farrakhan is anti-Semitic. How many times have I taught you guys that whenever our open enemy, whenever racist white supremacists open up their mouths and they say something about somebody Black, what have I taught you to do first? I told you to always ask the same question that our Creator asked. Who told you that? Remember, it's written that when they were in the garden, and he was looking for Adam and Eve. There are multiple interpretations of that story. There are multiple dimensions of the understanding of the book of Genesis. But one understanding is of Adam and Eve. When the God was walking in the cool of the day and he was looking for them, and he said, and he was looking for them, and they said that we hid from you because we were naked and we were ashamed. He said, who told you that? How many of you all know that before he found them in the garden that particular day, that they had already had a conversation with the devil? The enemy had dropped some misinformation. The enemy installed some malware into their God brains and their God minds. And so the output of that input is when God questioned them. He inquired of them, who told you that? So we always have to go to the source. So whenever our open enemy is running their mouth, we automatically should assume that they're lying until we're able to vet it. So Jemele, who told you that Minister Farrakhan is anti-Semitic? May I offer to you just a couple of quick little things real quick concerning that lie? Because Black family, they want you to hear all these different names about him so that you don't pay attention to the substance of what he says. Any Black person that they try to disrespect, when they try to label us, even when they try to make us criminals and felons and give you a label of a felon, that's so that they can control your life at a distance. That's so that they can try to limit your success. That's so that other folks, when they hear you and they say, oh, you've been to prison, oh, you've been to that, so that other people will take a double take. And so that they would filter whatever it is that you say through that label that they gave you. Somebody talk Black to me. Who told you that? White people telling you stuff about Black folk? Sit your funny looking self there. I began to think about something. This beautiful piece that's written by Brother Dimitri Muhammad, one of the greatest scholars and minds I know. He has an amazing body of work and books. I've interviewed him before. Stay tuned because I hope to do the same in upcoming days. He wrote this beautiful piece. And there's some references in here that I want us to focus on very briefly. One of the things is an excerpt from a lady who's a former Israeli educational minister. Y'all know I believe in giving you the receipts. A former Israeli education minister by the name of Shulamit Aloni, last name spelled Aloni. She was interviewed by Amy Goodman. How many of you all have heard of Amy Goodman on Democracy Now? That news show, right? Amy Goodman. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. I have an excerpt from a little bit of a transcript from that particular interview. Watch what Amy Goodman says. This is a direct quote from Amy Goodman, right? Watch this. Amy Goodman, in the Democracy Now's interview with this former Israeli educational minister. I said this is a former Israeli educational minister. Who said this, family? Who said this, family? A former Israeli education minister. Amy Goodman. Amy Goodman says, yours is a voice of criticism we don't often hear in the United States. Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against the policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response what is your response to that as an Israeli Jew? So Amy Goodman is asking who? A former education minister. Her name is Shulamit Aloni, Aloni. She says, what is your response to that as a minister, former minister, former education minister? She says, well, it's a trick. We always use it. Y'all better listen to what this former Israeli education minister said. She said, it's a trick calling us anti-Semitic. She said, we always use it. She says, when from Europe, someone criticizes Israel, we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country, people are criticizing Israel, they are called anti-Semitic. This is what she said. I wonder what the ADL, and I wonder if Aunt Jemele Hill gonna call her, this lady, anti-Semitic. Aunt Jemele Hill. Watch this. Here's a picture of the lady, just so you know. Here is a picture of a former Israeli educational minister who said that that's a trick that they use so that they're not criticized. Somebody talk black to me. Let me skip on down. Watch this. Watch this. Now, did you all notice that in the article, Jemele Hill quotes the ADL as if that's some kind of a legitimate source? ADL stands for the Anti-Defamation League. Did you guys know that the Anti-Defamation League had a history of sending spies and spying on black people? Did you all know that the ADL was busted for surveillancing black people and turning around and giving that information to government officials? This organization, who's alleged to stand there, who talks about white supremacy and injustice and anti-Semitism and stuff. Did you guys know that they were busted for surveillancing black folk? But Jemele Hill is quoting our enemies. What? Aunt Jemele Hill is quoting our enemies to whip us. That's what I mean when I tell you that back in the day, our open enemy used other slaves to whip us. She's using our open enemies, quoting them in the article. Somebody talk black to me. Somebody say uncheckable. Ain't Jemele Hill? This is our planet. God today. Ain't Jemele Hill? I'm getting ready to sling these curly braids all over the nation. Ain't Jemele Hill? I said, this is our planet. And we're setting the planet aright. We're getting it back in order. And what we say goes. We understand pain more than anybody else. I am so disgusted. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Let me say this before I say this. Thumbs up, family. Everybody, please hit that notification bell and make sure you're subscribed to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Again, if you happen to be watching us on one of our other several platforms, or you're watching us in a different time zone, and a different time time, we do ask that you like there, that you share, and that you follow. Thank you so very much. Again, family, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Let me tell some of you all something. Whenever someone tries to say black folk, y'all know I love to go in on folks that like to talk about us and say that we're homophobic. Now you're trying to say we're anti-Semitic. Again, who else did they call anti-Semitic? Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Now y'all trying to pretend like that you are the biggest fans of Martin Luther King when you hated him. And according to this Israeli minister lady, and we know especially when you try to lodge that attack against black folk, we know that's a trick. When you especially try to label us with all of those different names that they make up, we know you're trying to control us. We know it's a trick, especially when you use it against one of us. Why, Vicki? Because when black folks refuse to let us drink out of the same water fountains, when white folks refuse to allow us to vote, when white folks demanded that we go through the back of the door to receive service, when white folks demanded that we leave their schools and we didn't deserve the best education, black folks responded nonviolently. And in response, you bloodshedders, you sent your dogs, you lynched us. You called the fire department and brought out the water hoses with your violent, barbaric self. When we did sit-ins in your restaurants just so that we could receive equality, you spit on us. You threw food. You punched and you slapped us. What did we do? We showed you the most undeserving of people. We showed you kindness and we exemplified extraordinary restraint in our day and in our time. God, today, can I just use a recent example of the nature of black people? How dare you say we anti-Semitic? You liar! I said you are a liar. Watch this. Let's just use a more recent high-profile case. I'm not even going to go back to last year even. I'm just going to keep it in a recent high-profile case because we know there are many Ahmaud Arbery's, there are many Breonna Taylor's, there are many George Floyd's. When Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck, calmly killing him, he was in a relaxed state as he murdered our brother. Pay attention to the nature of that people. These are the people that Jemele is defending. Jemele wants to use a religious title. We ain't calling them that. We're saying we see white supremacists wherever they may be. So we're not going to let you trick us, Jemele, to use a religious term. These are the same people that Jemele is defending. Watch this. When our open enemy was calmly murdering our brother with his hands in his pocket. Don't forget, Derek Chauvin had his hands in his pocket while he had his knee on our brother's neck for almost 9 minutes. And you all do know that he didn't take his knee off his neck until the medical folks came and told him to take his knee off his neck. Watch this. What did they say our brother George Floyd was saying even while he was being tortured. You do know America tortures Black people. America likes to want us to believe that she knows how to identify terrorists around the world because she is one. She's the chief terrorist. What was George Floyd saying? While he was being tortured, what was George Floyd saying? He was still calling Derek Chauvin, sir. While our brother couldn't breathe, y'all, when he was feeling the life force leave his body, he was still calling him sir, 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 sir. While he was being insulted, while he was being tortured, while he was being murdered. We found later that he was calling for his children, apparently, and his mother. But he was still showing deep respect to our killers. And Jemele Hill has the nerve to say in her disgusting and disrespectful piece about us that Black folk can be culturally arrogant and guilty of other forms of racism. When they murdered our Black brothers and sisters, Mother Emanuel, the 9 that were murdered there. I continued, even in recent history, to play you audio video footage of some of the survivors and family members who testified during Dylan Roof's bond hearing. What did every single one of them that testified during this terrorist bond hearing say to him? What did our people, the most empathetic, the most sympathetic people on the planet, the only group that you know that walks amongst their tormentors and don't kill them all? What did every single one of them say? They said, I forgive you. And one sister not only did she say, I forgive you, she not only said, may God have mercy on your soul. She said, like we told you during the service, we enjoyed you. During the bond hearing, one of those that testified during his bond hearing said, like we told you during the service, during the meeting, we enjoyed you. And Jemele Hill and our open enemies call us anti-Semitic, misogynist, homophobic, all of these other labels that they put on us. After we show extreme restraint and respect to a beast, how dare you? I'm hoping that every single one of you that's under the sound of my voice, either now or later on this platform on Fly Nubian Queen, or if you're watching us on one of the other platforms, I hope every single one of you don't go back to just living your life like regular. I hope you tag her. I hope you tag the Atlantic. I went to the Atlantic and I submitted something with their editorial board. I hope you all demand consequences in terms of career-wise for her disrespect. This is blasphemy. This is sacrilege. And we're not going to permit it. You are not a sister when you act this way. You are an enemy. And enemies get treated like that. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let me tell you something. We will forever be uncheckable. Somebody put in their hashtag no anti-black racism. Why do we say no anti-black racism? Because that is the premier issue for the world. As I told you many times before, everything that's wrong in the whole wide world has to do with the disrespect of Black people in America and by extension those around the world. Even climate change, even creation, as it's written, groans for the manifestation of the sons of God to be revealed in the earth. White folks especially are tripping out about what they're going to do about climate change because of the way the earth is revolting. The reason why the earth is acting that way is because the earth's owners, God, today, the reason why the earth is behaving that way is because the earth's owners are being mistreated. And there's an eviction process that's getting ready to go down. This is our planet, and what we say goes. The most ironic thing is that Jemele Hill is taking the word of our open enemy. Let me read you one more thing. In addition to what I just told you about the ADL, spying on Black folks, pretending like that there's some group and organization that stands up for the rights of people around the world. No, baby. You busted. Watch this. As it's written in this beautiful piece by my brother Demetric Muhammad. Watch this. By the way, you can get this information at researchminister.com. Somebody put that in the chat for me. Y'all know I believe in giving you receipts. Read it. Read it and use these points. Because see, they don't want you all. They don't want Black folks to unify and to roundly rebuke these people who are putting these false labels on Minister Farrakhan. They don't want us to understand the details of this and to understand our unified power. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Again, that's researchminister.com for these receipts. Watch this. The ADL, he says here, like the Simon Wiesenthal Center, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in Los Angeles, has built its financial appeal to Jews by its ability to portray the Jewish people as surrounded by enemies who are on the verge of launching threatening anti-Semitic campaigns. It has a professional stake in exaggerating the dangers and sometimes allows existing racial or political prejudices in the Jewish world to influence how it will portray the potential dangers. Watch this. He says here in this piece, Black anti-Semitism is a tremendous disgrace to Jews. For this is not an anti-Semitism rooted in hatred of the Christ killers, but rather one rooted in the concrete fact of the oppression by Jews of Blacks in the ghetto and earned anti-Semitism. That's what Rabbi Lerner, it says here just before that, and even though Rabbi Lerner is also guilty of straw manning and mislabeling Black criticisms as Black anti-Semitism, Rabbi Lerner understands the sources of Black criticism of the Jewish community, he wrote in 1969. That was a quote from another Jewish person from 1969. But watch this. He says, groups like the ADL and others engage in these sorts of tricks. Black family, you guys got to understand this. We reject these labels. We love all people. We're the most sympathetic and empathetic people on the planet. So don't try that small town stuff over here on us, baby. It's not gonna work. Watch this. Watch this. Do you all know that they called Minister Farrakhan the Black Hitler? Did you all know that large groups of them protested Minister Farrakhan and demanded his murder? Did you all know that? They chanted that during their demonstrations against Minister Farrakhan. They chanted for his murder. Did you all know that? Watch this. In 1984, Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for the office of the President of the United States of America. The ADL, who am I talking about? The ADL, who Jemele Hill quoted as if that was a legitimate source. See, Jemele, we know you're a part of an agenda, because all the stuff that you quoted and the stuff that you did in there, you were able to easily vet these things. But she used them against us in her piece. She tries to check and correct black folk and call Minister Farrakhan vile and tell black folk that we can be culturally arrogant. But she lets our open enemies off the hook. Watch this. 1984, Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for office for the President of the United States of America. The ADL, who she quoted in her piece, actively engaged in sabotaging Reverend Jackson's campaign, even working to destroy his candidacy before it started, according to Daniel Levitas of the Center for Democratic Renewal. Quote, before Jackson announced his candidacy in 1983, but aware of his impending run, the ADL quietly circulated a 19-page memo to reporters detailing Jackson's past statements regarding Jews. Y'all know they went after Michael Jackson. Y'all know they tried to label Michael Jackson as that. We are the children of the Black Holocaust that exceeds every other Holocaust, because ours was not only one of the most humane experiences, but it lasted longer than anybody else's. And besides, we still hadn't got reparations. They have. We still haven't gotten land. They have. Every year, the United States of America sends billions of dollars in aid to Israel and billions of dollars in weapons to them. But the people who built these United States of America remain uncompensated. But this is who Jemele Hill is caping for. Somebody talk black to me. Minister Farrakhan came out more than the reverends, because you know Reverend Jesse Jackson is a Christian. Nobody came out like Minister Farrakhan came out to protect to protect Jesse Jackson. Minister Farrakhan came out and told them, don't kill him. Did you all know that they firebombed some of the locations of Jesse Jackson? Either his home, I believe it was, or some of his campaign places. Guess who provided security for his family and for Jesse Jackson? Wasn't the government, baby. It was the Nation of Islam. Did you all know that? That there was an actual violent attacks on Jesse Jackson. And so when Minister Farrakhan came out to defend him and to tell them not to kill him, they came out and started calling him the Black Hitler. That's what opened up the door for Minister Farrakhan to even refer and to denounce the fact that they called him that. That's the only reason why he even referenced a Hitler in the first place, is because they first started by calling him the Black Hitler. Jemele ain't Jemele Hill. And don't you guys think it's strange that every time they try to dog out the minister, they never bring him on, or they don't even deserve to bring him on because that's too high for you, little itty bittiness. But they don't bring in his legal team. They don't bring in his research team. They don't bring in his scholars and some of the best minds on the planet. When you're running your mouth against something and you know that you're telling the truth, you ought to be able, because remember, he's openly said, Mr. Farrakhan has openly challenged them. He said he's calling for a showdown. He has repeatedly called for them to come to the table for an open showdown. He says, bring your scholars, bring your people, and I'll bring mine. Why don't you moderate that, Aunt Jemima? It's one thing for white supremacists to behave like that. It's a whole nother thing when you see a black-faced woman like Jemele Hill say about us that we are culturally arrogant, that we too can be racist, that Minister Farrakhan is vile. And she tells you that Deshaun, even though he asked for forgiveness, and even though he's making all of these efforts and gestures to fix what he said, she ended her piece by saying that just because he said it doesn't mean we have to believe him. God, today, you are strong. The stench of coon is all on you. The stench of Sambo. Disgusting. You disgust me. You make me sick. Pancake. White meat chicken. She wouldn't do no black brown meat. She white meat chicken. This pageant of coons. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. Don't forget, family, to subscribe, to share. FlyNubianBusiness.com, ShopFNQ.com. ShopFNQ is our store where you can get these kinds of things like t-shirts, mugs, I think journals and all kinds of other good stuff on our store at ShopFNQ.com. Backpacks and stuff, that's ShopFNQ.com. Be sure to check that out. But this pageant of coons, the only reward, baby, you getting ready to get. Well-deserved one. We got a trophy for you coons. We got a trophy for those of you that's involved in this pageant. Y'all list some of these anti-black folk out here. The Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. Y'all know I was on Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson's show a year or so ago. You can find it on YouTube. About 70, 80 some thousand hits, I think, by now. Candace Owens, Diamond and Silk. All of them, they're part of this pageant. What's that Sesame Street star's name? Who I did a show on? Who Essence Magazine just put him on the cover? What's that Sesame Street star name? Larry Elder. Y'all put their name in the chat. Okra. Kale. What's that Sesame Street star's name? What's that one name? The dude. What's his name, y'all? Essence Magazine just put him on the cover. A black woman's magazine, they just put this whole man, this whole Billy Porter, thank you. Billy Porter, they're all a part of this pageant. The Bones and Biscuits pageant. They're fighting for first place, runner-up and stuff like that. The biggest reward they're going to get is a bone and some biscuits. And white meat chicken. White meat fried chicken. Not freedom. Not money. Those are the things. Those are the tangibles they want for this contest. That buttery bussy bite. That strong buttery bussy bite. That buttery bussy bite. That's Billy Porter. So Billy Porter is a part of this. Terry Crews and them. Who the rest of them, y'all? They all fighting, jockeying to win this pageant. But I say first place today. And runner-up. First place. And runner-up. Let me get this so you can see this. So I want you to be able to read what this says. It's been a while since we've given out one of these awards. First place and the runner-up. Both of these go to today. Jemele Hill, this is for you. That beautiful biscuit right there. And then you see the coon at the top of the tree right here. That's the coon right there at the top of the tree. The dog trying to get the coon. What does it say? Coon Award. Meritorious. It says Coon Award. Meritorious Manumission Butter Biscuit. That's what it says here. Can you read it? Coon Award. Meritorious Manumission Butter Biscuit. What do you know about the Meritorious Manumission family? There's so much more I could say today, but I'm not going there. Watch this. Stay tuned for upcoming interview that I'm going to have on one of our platforms pretty soon with our brother, Demetri Muhammad, I hope. God willing, inshallah. Listen, what's the meritorious manumission? That's one of the phrases on this award. Congratulations, Jemele. Y'all send her this link and tell her congratulations. She won something. This pageant. This is her right here. Congratulations, girl. You go, girl. You go, girl. Woo! Please give us a digital round of applause in the chat, family. Put your hands together for the runner-up, first and place. Unprecedented. Aunt Jemima, a.k.a. Jemele Hill. You know Billy Porter mad because he twitting down the aisle with his pink tutu on. Somebody talk black to me. He real mad because he dressed up for real for the occasion. She didn't. She just threw her hair back in the bun and walked down the thing and backstabbed us. The meritorious manumission, for those of you, I want you all to know that's an actual legal term. Meritorious manumission. Look at this. That's what I put on here. Coon Award, meritorious manumission, butter biscuit. Watch this. For those of you that don't know, somebody said they dead. Y'all play too much. Meritorious manumission. Meritorious Manumission Act of 1710 was the legal act of freeing a slave for quote unquote good deeds. In other words, that was an incentive or a reward from white people. Watch this. Shout out to our moderator who put the link in the chat for that. The Meritorious Manumission Act of 1710 was a legal act of freeing a slave for good deeds as defined by the national public policy. Meritorious manumission could be granted to a slave who distinguished himself by saving the life of a white master or his property. See, this is how you become a runner-up. This is how you win. By saving the life, it's one of these three things, or all. By saving the life of a white master or his property. Inventing something that a white slave master could make a profit from, or snitching on a slave rebellion. When white folks, in other words, when they find you useful for white supremacy, they reward you. They give you a little job at the Atlantic. Somebody talk black to me. Did you all hear what I just said? The other thing that disgusts me, and I'm getting ready to go for real after this. When I went to Twitter, I reminded myself of something that she did from 2017. Do you all see this from 2017? Jemele Hill retweeted a controversial piece from very smart brothers.theroot.com. See, this is why the Root get all this work, but they funny looking self. Jemele Hill retweeted a piece titled, "Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black People." See, Jemele Hill ain't Jemele Hill. She's a repeat offender for the black community. They don't like strong, masculine black men. And they use black women to do it. I said she retweeted a piece as if she was caping for this that was called "Straight Black Men Are the White People of Black People," making the black men the enemy. She retweeted that piece sometime back. And after she did this last hit piece against Minister Farrakhan and black folk in general, I was fascinated by the American Jewish Committee, known as the AJC. Look at this tweet that they just tweeted out. "Thank you, Jemele Hill, for writing this poignant and important piece about how experiencing one type of prejudice doesn't automatically sensitize people to other forms of bigotry." They patted her on the back. They said, "Addie girl." They said, "That's my negress." And she retweeted it. Jemele Hill got a pat on the back from them, and they said, "Thank you, Jemele Hill, for writing this poignant and important piece about how experiencing one type of prejudice doesn't automatically sensitize people to other forms of bigotry." Baby, y'all ain't victims like that today. Black folks, anti-black racism ought to be on the lips of everybody. Hello, George Floyd. Hello, Rayshard Brooks. Hello, Breonna Taylor. Hello, Ahmaud Arbery. That's just the most recent high-profile cases. There's other nameless Breonna Taylors that's happening right now. Shame on you. I again say, send this link to every one of them. Send this link to everybody that you can think of that needs to watch this. Send this link to her as well. Send this link to the Atlantic newspaper. That's who she works for. And then I want you to register your disgust with the misinformation that she put in her piece. Why are we mad with her? This is the language you need to use for the Atlantic. Let them know that she put misinformation in there. She didn't vet her stuff. She lied in her piece. Jemele Hill lied in her piece. Aunt Jemima lied. And she quoted the ADL, who has a history of being anti-black. She quoted them as a legitimate source, quoting them, but giving us the middle finger. Boy, the coon strong in this one, boy. Hashtag 465. This is our planet. We shall forever remain uncheckable. Don't none of y'all get to say nothing to us. Let me get ready to go, family. I love you to pieces. My final word to Jemele Hill, after obviously, congratulations, girl. You did that. You did that. You did that. You did this. My final piece to you is perhaps you need to go back to Gatorade. Gatorade and games. That's your ram. That's where you dwell. You thrive when you was talking about sports. This above your pay grade right now, boo. You're a disaster when it comes down to this kind of chit chat. Leave that to us. Leave that to us. Thank you so much for tuning into the Vicki Show. You got your marching orders, dear family? Anybody can get this work. And I just want you to know I'm just getting started. Thank all of those that supported Fly Newbie Queen in the super chat. Thank those of you that privately gave to my Cash App. I usually give that over the thing, but my moderators put my Cash App link in the chat. Thank all of you so much. Thank those of you that are supporting the network. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Again, don't forget to go to clubvicki.com, where I'm going to be starting my mastermind question and answer again. I have a lot of mastermind lectures that's already available and accessible there for those of you that are part of that. Again, we look to have something special for those of you that's been riding with us for a while now, so stay tuned for that. Love you to pieces. Again, share this link out with everybody. Black family, don't you run at a time like this. You stand firm with Minister Farrakhan, not because you're a Muslim, not because you believe in every single thing of somebody else's ideology, but stand with him because he's been standing for black folks. How about that? Stand with Deshaun because you know black folks ain't trying to hurt nobody else. And the point is, everybody else knows it. Those that are trying to say we who've experienced the worst type of oppression than anybody else for longer than anybody else, those who try to pretend that we're biggest like them, they're trying to make themselves seem less of a savage. When it looks like the black folks too are oppressing other people, they're trying to absolve themselves from their almost 500 years of diabolical and barbaric torture and sins against us. But we ain't letting you get by with it. We are not going to let you use any kind of label to hide behind in white supremacy. That's the reason why we don't even need to focus on the quote unquote anti-Semitism part. We're talking about white supremacists in every area of life. And we're calling you out and any other would-be bootlicks. And pay attention to other families, to other black folks who claim to be black. Listen to who's silent right now. Listen to who's not mentioning the name of Minister Farrakhan. Listen to who's not coming to his support and not saying, no, that's a no-no, Jemele. That's a no-no, Atlantic. That's a no-no, ADL. That's a no-no, Alan Dershowitz. Thank you, Wiggy, for your gift. He said, y'all listening? You ain't gonna get nothing for being a coward in this season, black family. When we collectively say no to this and push back, you resist, what does it say in the book of James? When you resist the devil, what happens? Beta Burn says, I love learning from Miss Vicki. Thank you for your teachings. You're so welcome, beloved. I bless your gift or your kind words. Thank you so much. What happens, family, when you resist the devil? What happens, Black family, when you resist? Not when you are passive and you just sit there and take it. You know darn well nobody on the globe knows hell like we know hell. You know darn well we don't have an evil nature and an evil heart to mistreat nobody. Resist the devil and he will flee. Baby, that's the order of the court today. Thank you for tuning into the Vicki Show. It is my bliss, my privilege, my honor to serve you, my people, and the world. I don't hate any group of people. Your salvation lies in your proper treatment of the original owners of the planet. If you are not going to ensure that Black folks have justice, you will never have it. Honor your mother and father. Because I'm your mama. I don't care if you are 85-year-old Becky. I'm your mama. I'm your 41-year-old mama because my spirit has been on this piece. It's my planet. It's our planet. Honor your mother and your father. Why? So that your days may be long on the earth. Y'all wondering why your numbers are low. Biologically, Black folks ain't even killing y'all like that and your numbers are dwindling. Honor your mother and father so that your days may be long on the earth. You might be able to stay on our planet for another weekend if you treat us right. It's a new day, baby. It's a changing of the gods. In 2 Thessalonians 2, that man of sin is being revealed. I said that man of sin is being revealed. Somebody talk Black to me. I can't wait to see you on Vicki X Dillard on Instagram. Vicki X Dillard. And don't forget to check out our store, shopfnq.com. And I look forward to seeing you on Twitter as well as Dillard Vicki. It was my bliss and my honor to come before you. I came to you in peace. I leave you in peace. Mwah. Love you so much.